Shalom, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to start a new chapter, that is the regular verb perfect. Okay. Every Hebrew verb is having three root letter, that is called trilateral root, and it is normally constructed with three root letter. For example, this Kof, Tet, and Lamed. From this root, the word derived is katal. Katal means to kill, or kotel, or kittel. Kittel, the action is he murdered. Then shamar. Shamar is he kept. Shomer is the action participle, that is keeping. And if we see shimmer, that is he kept. So depending upon this three letter root, we can get different verb conjugation, and they are having different vowel pointings. So, but the base, that is three root letter, it never changes except some weak letters. Now, by changing the vowel pointing and by adding prefixes and suffixes, the Hebrew verbs expresses kind of action, mood, person, gender, and number. For example, shamarti. If I add to last letter tau, hirek yor, that means I kept. Shamarti is I kept. Katalti is I killed. Then as we add the pronominal suffixes or the vowel pointings by addition of prefixes and suffixes to this Hebrew verb, it shows a different kind of actions, mood, person, gender, and number. Now, what is verb? Verb is with action is. So it is a verb which am I audible now?
Slightly lower volume, sir, but yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I will increase volume. Now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So verb, you all know that where the action is. Now, read this. Sister Tina, you can easily read it because
Yeah.
you are very familiar with these verses.
Yes. Sir.
Read.
Bara Elohim et Hashemayim ve et haaretz.
First word you omitted. Bereshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Your the photo was there on that, sir. I couldn't see that, but yeah, I was wondering where did the Bereshit go? Yeah. Okay.
Now you
you want me to continue, sir?
Yeah. Bereshit from here start.
Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim ve et haaretz. Ve haaretz hayeta tohu va vohu ve choshek al pene tehom ve ruach Elohim merachefet al pene hamayim. Vayomer Elohim yehi or Vayehi or. Sir, is it Vayehi or
Vayehi or.
Vayehi or?
Because of this method,
Yes, sir.
The syllable is forced open.
Okay.
So va, you have to pronounce Vayehi or. That's.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all this red color one are the verbs. Bara. Bara means he created. Haeta. Haeta is also a verb. If you see this Haeta, this is a stative verb. Perfect verb, stative verb. Then yahi. Yahi is also a verb. Of course, or is not a verb, but yahi is a verb and it is imperfect form of the verb. So in all these things, this red color one, these are all verbs and these are action words. For example, bara, he created. Haeta, and the earth was without form. Yahi or, let there be light. So we are going to study a different kind of verb. So in Hebrew, verb comes with person, that is first person, second person, third person. Gender, that is masculine, feminine, or common. In Hebrew, there are only two genders, that is true gender, masculine or feminine. There is no neuter. And both that represents masculine and feminine are called common gender. Number are singular or plural. And stems. So we are going to see the stems. So these are the 7 stems which we are going to see. First stem is cal. So in detail, we are going to see cal. If you know cal, because around 80 to 90% of the verb in Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, is in cal form. Which form? Cal form. And other verb conjugation, 20% category is other verb conjugation. So it is very important to learn cal. Now, anyone know what is the meaning of cal? I will make your video on because I don't know whether you are attentive or not. If your video is off, okay. Do you know what is the meaning? What is the meaning of cal? Cal means light, not that light of the sun. Light. For example, this box. This box is very light. Yeah. 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 In another word, it is a simplest form because cal is in simplest form. So cal is a very light, simplest form of the verb. That means other verb conjugation are heavier. Passive voice of cal is nephal. PL and pual. PL is an active voice, whereas pual is a passive voice of PL. PL and pual are called intensive verb form, but they are actually a factitive rather than intensive. For example, I will tell you, God brought Abraham the state of sanctification. God brought Abraham to the state of sanctification. So here, the action here, it is someone is bringing someone to the state of sanctification. So this action is factitive action rather than intensive. Whereas Jeroboam caused Israel to sin. Here we see that the action is causative. So this is the difference between factative and causative. Causative action, in causative action, we see that, for example, I make this mobile to fall, or I make this pen to fall. Someone is causing to do this action. Therefore, it is a causative action. Hippil is a active voice, whereas hoppal is a passive voice. So, active verb conjugation is cal, pl, and hippil, whereas passive verb conjugation of cal is nifal, pl is pual, and for hippil it is hopal. And there is one verb conjugation which is called reflexive. It gives a reflexive voice. It is called hitpael. Hitpael. And hitpael, for example, hitpael, he killed himself. When subject is doing the action for himself, that is called hitpael. For example, I hit myself. You're getting? I hit myself. Here the action is reflexive. When subject is doing the action for itself, so that is called hitpael. Now, for all this verb conjugation, now we almost come to the end of this advanced stage. See, now at the end, see, only 2-3 people are there. See, verb conjugation, after explaining you all verb conjugation, I'm going to end this batch. But one very important thing about this verb conjugation is you have to remember not all paradigm. Because for cal, almost if you see in your workbook, there is almost first person, second person, third person, then participle, then infinitive absolute, then this infinitive construct. So all this paradigm, if you see, almost 30 to 35 different verb conjugation of the one single verb you need to remember, but you don't need to remember anything, any paradigm. What you need to remember is just a name. Say name. If you know the name, if you know the name of the verb conjugation, in that everything is there. You can easily recognize, for example, cal. The root word, the Arabian grammarian, they use the root word to design all this. As you know that this Hebrew grammar has been designed. It has been borrowed from Arabic, and most of that they use the root word to name all this conjugation is pa'al. Pa'al. Pa'al means to do or to work. Pa'al. Now, from Pa'al, only the name given to here, this first conjugation is cal. It should be Pa'al, but it has given to cal. Otherwise, all other conjugation is derived from the single verb, that is Pa'al. From Pa'al, the now I want you to unmute, because if you know this chart, then remaining all the chapters, it will be very easy for you to understand. Dr. Bhanu, you also, can you unmute? Now, this is Pa'al, that is cal. Now, the passive voice of Paal is Nifal. Nifal. Now, any verb you if you put in this Nifal form, you will get like this only. Niktal, Nishmar. Any verb conjugation, any verb, any verb. If you put, for example, Katav means he wrote. Niktav. So what do you see in this Nifal conjugation? What you observe?
The knee.
Yeah.
All.
Yeah. Everywhere you will find noon with hirek. Noon with hirek. All Nifal is a passive voice actually, but every Nifal conjugation, whether it is perfect or for imperfect, there is another clue to remember, that is Nifal triangle. But for perfect, you will find under every paradigm, every verb, first person, second person, and third person, you will find nun with hirek. This is the clue to remember Nifal. Then PL. Now in Cal, it is Katal, he killed, but in PL, it is he murdered. Intensive or factitive action. Now, what do we observe in this active voice? In PL,
Everything is with Kirek, sir.
yeah. First, for perfect, every word you will find under it, it is hirek. And in second root letter, you will find doubling dagesh.
Oh.
This is the clue to remember this perfect conjugation of PL. And then read this pual. What do you observe over pual?
Kibbutz, sir.
Kibbutz. So again, kibbutz and second root letter doubling dagesh. For perfect, imperfect, I will give you the clue. So to recognize this pual verb conjugation, every first root letter you will find under it kibbutz. Now let's go to hippil. What do you find? Hiktil, that is he caused to murder. What do you find over here?
Hey with Kirek.
Yeah, for perfect conjugation of hippil, everywhere you will find hey with hirek. Isn't it very easy to recognize? Only the name gives you the clue. And you will understand this is the hippil verb conjugation. If noon is there and hirek is there, then this is a nifal verb conjugation. Only sometimes the vocabulary by name you should know. For example, Nathan or Nithen. If the word come, that is the root word or Nathan. Noon, Tao, and again Nun Sofit. So that should never be confused. Means you should know vocabulary for that. Otherwise, you'll find it little difficult to recognize whether that is the original form of the root word or this needs nifal verb conjugation. Then, what do you observe over here, Hopal?
Hey with column wow.
Hey with comets hatuf. See that,
Yeah,
that is
comet.
hope, na hope. It is not hap. Hopal. So Hopal is hey with comets hatu. And under Kof, Shiva is silent or vocal?
Silent.
Silent. So the syllable is closed and unaccented. So every first syllable of this Hopal verb conjugation, you will find that it is closed syllable, unaccented syllable. Syllable is closed and unaccented, and you will find comets hatu there. Okay, so it is a very easy. It's very easy to recognize. Just remember the name. Just remember the name. Okay. I want you both to unmute and say these names. Cal,
Cal,
Nifal,
Nifal,
Nepal,
PL,
Tian,
Pual,
Pual,
Hifil,
Ipil,
Hofal.
Hopal,
Hopal,
Okay. Now, what do you observe in this Hitpael?
Hit,
Hit. Okay. So it's very easy. Only hit. Wherever you will find in verb conjugation hit, that means it is Hitpael. Okay.
yes,
Got
sir.
it? Now, see. Simple form of the verb is cal. For example, they have given some see here, the root word from which all conjugations are derived is, say after me, pa'al.
Al,
Pa'al. Pa'al means to do. From pa'al, nifal form is nifal. Actually, the name only. From pa'al, hifil form is hifil. From pa'al, hopal form is hopal. From pa'al, PL form is PL. From pa'al, pual form is pual. And from pa'al, hitpael form is hitpael. Now, if you see, another root word is shamar. What is the meaning of shamar?
kept,
Shamar means third person masculine singular. He kept. From shamar, passive voice, nishmar. Everyone say nishmar.
Nishmat,
Nishmar. Nishmar means he was kept. Then hifil form is hishmir.
Ishmit,
And
Hish-
hopal form is hoshmar.
Hoshmat,
Then PL form is shimmer.
Shimmer,
Shimit,
Shimmer. Pual form is shumar.
Shimmat,
And hitpael form is hishtamer.
Ishtamat,
Ishtamat,
No question? I told you hitpael form is hit comes first. Then why here it is hish?
only for this word, it's some exceptions, sir.
No, exception no. Yeah, whenever there are sibilants, S sound giving words, Zain, then this is seen, chin. So sibilant word replaces tau. Instead of hit, it will be sibilant will be there. Hishtamer. He caused me to keep. Then pakyat. Everyone say pakyat.
Bakat,
Pakyat means what? You know? Pakyat means he remembered. He remembered or he visited. So here it is nipkat. Say nipkat.
Nip, Nipkat,
Then hipkit.
Hipkit,
Hopkat.
Hopkat,
Then pikket.
Piket,
Pukkat.
Phuket,
And hit packet.
Hit, Pakat,
Hit packet. He caused me to visit or he caused me to remember. So remember all this verb conjugation, and that's the end. If you know all this simple cal form, and if you know all this simple cal form and all its grammatical element, you will be easily know the paradigm of Nefal, Hipil, Hopal, PL, Pual, and Hitpile. Only coming 4 to 5 lectures, attend regularly, and I will finish all this verb conjugation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, in every verb conjugations, aspect means tense. In Hebrew, strictly speaking, there is no tense. There is no tense. Only whether it is simple, means past tense, future tense, or present tense, it is determined by the context. So context and context alone is the key to determine whether the verb form is past, present, or future. But in Hebrew, there is no such a thing that you will know that it is past tense. Okay. Now, perfect. But generally, it is said that perfect means action that is completed action. And what do you say? Completed action goes in which tense? Past, present, past tense. So perfect are actually past tense action. And imperfect, that is action, is ongoing or progressive, and it will be completed in the future. So that action is incomplete or progressive action. So imperfect. So in Hebrew, you will find two types of action. In Cal only, you will find perfect and imperfect, two types of action. And every time when there is a perfect or completed action is then they add a suffix to the verb. For example, shamar, shamarti. Shamarti means I kept. So that ti is a suffix. So perfect in another way, it is also called suffix conjugation. Suffix. And the third word I told you is cal. Or in your workbook that it is given katal. Katal. Imperfect. Imperfect is a prefix conjugation. You will find, for example, you will find ektol, tiktol. So that ek, that is aleph, aleph before the katal, that is ektol, is I kept. I kept. So or it can be translated as I was, I'm keeping. In your workbook, if you see, it can be I iktol. The translation will be I killed, or it can be if it is present tense. Present means if it is a perfect tense, katalti. If it is, the action is katalti, then the translation will be I killed, I kill, or I will kill. As I told you, it is considered that perfect means action is completed, and it generally represents past tense. But strictly speaking, in Hebrew, there is no tense. Sometimes katalti, that you may say that I killed, action is in past tense. But context and context alone is the key to recognize whether that action happened in past tense, or it will happen in future, or it is presently ongoing action. So the translation will be I killed, I kill, or I will kill. but we consider most of the time that perfect means completed action and it represents past tense, and imperfect means action that is not completed, but it's there is a possibility that in past action is ongoing. Action is ongoing or it is incomplete action. So imperfect can also represent a past tense. So I will not use this sentence that perfect means past and imperfect means present. Only the context will give you a clue whether it is past, present, or future. Because in Hebrew, strictly speaking, there is no tense. But in modern Hebrew, they have made it tense. If you learn modern Hebrew, for there is an action, simple past, simple present, simple future. Then there is an action in modern Hebrew. But since we are learning biblical Hebrew, there is no tense as such. In your workbook also it is given, strictly speaking, there is no tense in Hebrew. Context alone determines the time frame for the action or state depicted by the verb. Instead, the verb occurs in two forms, that is suffix form known as perfect, or it is also known as katal. And prefix form is also known as imperfect. The second name is ikton. Ikton. Now, let me test you. What is the three name I told you for perfect? परफेक्ट के लिए और दो नाम क्या है? See, that means you are not attentive. What are the two names I told now, just now, for perfect? Perfect is a suffix conjugation. Which conjugation?
Suffix.
Suffix. And another name is katal. And for imperfect, it is prefix conjugation. And another name is iktol. Iktol. So in Hebrew, there are commands. The first person is cohortative. For example, let's praise the Lord. So it is in Hebrew, there are three types of command. First person is cohortative. Second person is imperative. That is, you praise the Lord. And third person is jussive. He shall praise the Lord. Then infinitives. Infinitive construct is just to add to. To praise is good. Infinitive absolute. In infinitive absolute, you will find emphasis, then imperative, and the third action is contemporaneous action, that is praising, he praised. And in grammatical part, we are going to look into participle. Participle is action that is continuously going on. The man is praising, that is ing form of the action. The man is praising, or the praising man. Okay, that's it. Mhm. You can see screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here I already given you the trilateral root. Nature of the action, I already told you, suffix conjugation and prefix conjugation. Three names are perfect or katal, and prefix is imperfect or iktal. I already told you this, many grammarians take the perfect katal as representative of action that is completed, while as imperfect iktal represents action that is incomplete. See here. So they find out from this is perfect or katal represents action that is completed, therefore normally past tense, whereas imperfect or iktal represents action that is incomplete, therefore normally future. One modified form of this include the third form, that is vaiktal, as a past tense but without aspectual implications, that we are going to learn afterwards. Now, one very important statement they are making here, and that you should know, the author of this grammar take a view that modifies the first view above, that is 1C. We hold the tense time is the function of context alone, and that the Vaiktal form is not strictly preterite. The old term meaning past tense. Also, we believe that the perfect represents action that is complete, not completed. Now here they have given the one action, shamar. Now I want you to unmute and say this action. First person common singular. Say after me, shamarti.
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 I kept. Shamarta.
Shamarta.
You kept.
You kept.
Shamarat.
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 You kept. But
You
this
kept.
is feminine. Second person feminine singular. Then shamar.
Shamar.
Shamar is he kept.
You kept.
Then shameru. Sorry, samera.
Shamira.
Shamera is she kept, third person feminine singular. Then see here, this is plural form. Shamarnu,
Shamarnu.
that is we kept. Shamartem,
You kept.
Shamartem.
you kept, masculine plural. Shamartem, shamarten,
Shamartem.
you kept,
You
feminine
kept.
plural. And shameru,
Shameru.
shameru is third person common plural. They kept. They kept. Now, please note down over here that this second person masculine plural and second person feminine plural, you will not find comets. Everywhere you will find the root word shamar, comets is there, but this two form you will find no comments because of the heavy suffixes added, them and then. What happened? According to the third syllable back rule, the vowel should be as short as possible. So they have that is the comments has been heightened to Shiva. So already I told you the simplest conjugation of biblical Hebrew verb is called kal. The name appears to have been derived from kal, which means light. That is simple. Such a derivation might denote that the other six conjugation are heavier or more complex due to additional prefixes and suffixes attached to them. Now, see this chart. Here the action is given, kal, simple active,
Nifal, simple passive. Cal is called a G stem. This is the German language linguistic name Grundstam. Grundstam, that is G stem. Then Nifal N stem, simple passive. PL, factitive active. It is sometimes called intensive active. And this is D stem. Pual, factitive passive. Do stem. Hipfil, causative action, H stem. Hopal, causative passive, who stem. Hitpile, factitive reflexive. D with T infix, DT skin. Apart from this 7 conjugation, you will find these all other very rarely. Here it is said miscellaneous rare intensive conjugation. But they exist, and sometimes you will find in biblical Hebrew they are used. Poel, poal, hit poel, polel, pulal, hit polal, pilpel, pulpal, hit palpel, and hishtapel because of sibilant. Okay, already we saw this perfect or katal. Now, already we read this shamarti. So what personal pronoun you will find here?
Ani.
Ani. For shamarta, ata. For shamarat, at. Only third person masculine singular and third person family singular, they are unrelated, because here third person masculine singular, no suffix, no prefix, and for third person a suffix, it is comets he. It is as unrelated. For personal pronoun plural, anaknu. So this nu ending you will find shamarnu. Athem, this them ending you will find for second person masculine plural. And ten, athen, ten ending you will find second person feminine plural. And third person common plural is unrelated. You will find shameru, that is u ending. And in Hebrew, you will find always verb first, verb, subject, and object. This kind of action. Now, as we learned in last course, nouns or the adjective agrees with the noun in number, gender, and definiteness. So it is with the verb. Verb must also always agree with its subject in gender and number. For example, Kaber, Abraham. So Kaber is buried, third person masculine singular. So Abraham is also masculine. So it is Abraham buried. Then Yavesha haaretz. The earth was dry. And here Haleku Vane Israel, the Israelites walked. So here, see here, u ending, plural ending. So because the Bane Israel or Vane Israel, they are a plural. Therefore, the verb is also plural. Here, earth, haaretz, it is feminine in gender. Therefore, Yavesha, Yavesha is also feminine, comments say, feminine gender. So verb agree with the subject with number, not number here I will say, but with in gender and number. Yes, number also. In gender and number. Abraham is first person. So this Kaver is also a first person. Aretz is a feminine singular. Yavesha is also feminine singular. Bane Israel is plural. So Haleku is also having the plural ending. How to identify a root word? Just remove the prefixes and suffixes and then you will get the root word. Mishfat, Shafat. Milkhama, Lakham. Maleke, that is removed yod prefix, suffix, Malak. Sadakti, T removed, Sadak. Rakyak. Then again here Sadak and Toledot, Yalad. Okay, so I finished chapter 13. Any doubts regarding this chapter? Sister Tina, Sister Banu?
No, sir.
Okay, now you need to be more focused and concentrate this from this cal onwards, because now I have brought you to this stage. Now you need to do by yourself. So vocabulary: Evan, stone, Amma, cubit, Esh, fire, Berith, covenant, Mishpakha is family, clan, Pe is mouth, opening, Kerev, inner part, inward parts, interior, midst, middle, Keren is horn, Shade, Sade is field, pasture, open country, and Sha'ar is gate, city gate. Verbs are Yarash, he took possession of, Karat, he cut off, then Katav, he wrote, Tagar, he shut, closed, Aware, he passed, he crossed over, Pakyat, he visited, Karav, he came near, and Shakav, he lay down. Then particles are Hoi. Hoi means alas, woe. And Hinne, behold, look. Now, I want you to unmute and start your video for 2 minutes. Just in 1 minute, I'm going to finish it. See, now I just told you and given you introduction of this 7 conjugations. 7 conjugation from next chapter. If you see, it is pronominal suffixes for nouns. Pronominal suffixes for noun. Just we saw pronominal suffixes for prepositions and eth, direct object marker. So there are pronominal suffixes for noun. I think, Mr. Banu, we have finished this pronominal suffixes, no? Or no?
Last time, yes, we had done.
Okay. This pronominal suffixes also we have finished. Last 2 lecture, I think so, on prepositions. Your batch are finished. I need to see the recorded session. Only next 4 lecture, I request all of you. Today, Sister Purnima, some guest came, so she sent apology. But now you, this 3 sisters, to be faithful till the end. Only next 4 lecture attend. I will just give you clue. See, I am your facilitator. I'm not now teacher. I have brought you to fill the swimming tank. I have taught you how to swim. Now it is your turn. You need to concentrate. If you, this is a very important stage. You need to learn all this conjugation. That is, if you only learn conjugation and its paradigm, and then you will be able to recognize, and recognition is the key. Means you need to recognize. No need to do memorize. If you see, there are so many use paradigm. See here, if you see, if I'll bring you to imperfect. See here. Now this is imperfect paradigm. Imperfect. This Ashmore, Tishmore, Tishmeri, Ishmore. So all this paradigm, no need to remember all the paradigm. Only you need to remember the name and its suffixes. For first person, Aleph is used. For second person, Tav is used. For second person, again Tav and the last Yod, Hirak Yod is used. For third person, Yod prefix is used. So only you need to remember the prefixes and for example, now if I see PL, PL and Pual, see here. No need to remember all this paradigm. You need to remember only one cal form. Other in perfect, you will find Noon with Hirek. For PL, you will find first root letter with Hirek. And in Pual, you will find kibbutz everywhere for perfect. For imperfect, for that only I need this 3-4 lectures, and I will explain you how to recognize imperfect. And also there is one chapter on numbers. Numericals. So that also in this coming 3 to 4 lectures I will cover. I will now in this coming 3 to 4 lectures I will give you introduction of all the paradigms: Nifal, PL, Pual, Hipil, Hopal, Hitpayal. Plus I will give you first of all, next lecture I will give you the whole Cal paradigm with all its infinitive construct, infinitive absolute participle, all that I will explain. How to recognize that only I'm going to tell. So don't get confused. Don't get confused. You need to recognize only the name and some clues which I'm giving you. Now this, if I'll go in detail, it will take another 6 months or 7 months, but I'm going to finish it in 3 to 4 lectures. And you need to get, you need to work from your side. Any doubts, any question? Mr. Tina, I am seeing your face, so many things going on.
Sir, I'm actually doing this a second time and it's still so confusing. So
Best
I
way
just
is you know the basic thing now. You
Yeah.
start teaching, take some 4-5 people who are interested and start teaching basic Hebrew course at least once in a week in your area start. So by that way, you both will also remain in that. And if you spread the knowledge, God will also give you the knowledge.
Yes.
That
Thank
thing you
you,
can
sir.
do.
Yeah. Sir,
So that-
the thing in general is fine. It is the vowels that are confusing for me. You showed us the table, and the without vowels, it's okay to remember. With the vowels is the problem.
no. Verb conjugation, which I told you,
Yes, sir.
only name you need to remember. Name.
The vowels
Yeah.
of it. Sir?
Cal, nifal.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the table you showed, no, sir. Shamarti, Shamarat.
That
Those
you already learned that,
vowels.
sister. You already
I
learned.
already learned.
Ani,
Yeah,
ani,
yeah,
anak.
that is fine.
Most
but when
of the
it comes with the word,
most of the suffixes, they are related. Only which third person, feminine singular and masculine singular, they are unrelated, and the common plural. Only that you need to remember.
yeah.
Otherwise,
So that is the only problem for me. I'm not able to recollect the vowels accurately.
I think you
where the
go to the
Sheva,
chapter
where the-
12, chapter 12, that is on personal pronoun, and just recite ani, ata,
Yeah,
at.
that is again okay. So till second level, it was simple.
Mhm.
Third level is
Third level came from the second only. The verb conjugation, the pronominal suffixes, and the prefixes. Suffixes are from personal pronoun only.
yes,
For
yes.
example, shamarti. Shamarti. Why I said I kept? Because ani, that hirek yod is there.
Yeah, yeah.
Shamarta, ata, that comments and comments is there. So it is related to personal pronoun. You watch and learn personal pronouns once again,
Yes,
and
yes.
this will be very easy to you. And next 4 lectures, I don't want any excuses from any one of you.
So only this sometimes I told you, to pick up Ria, I have to go. She comes at this time between 5:30 and 6:30. That is the problem. Today she came a little early. She came at 5 itself. So her class finished early. They don't have specific timings. That's where the problem comes. Otherwise,
Okay, but you need to work out that.
yes.
Okay, we'll close the session because I'm having 8 o'clock another Hebrew session.
Yes.
Okay. Yahweh Barakah, God bless you.
Thank you. sir.
Shalom.